Hello everybody, how are you doing? Just thought I would pop on, haven't been on for a while. I've been working on all sorts of random bits and pieces, and I've just sort of finished one that I wanted to share with you. It's been a bit of a learning experience, so I thought why not just show you and tell you what I've learned as I've gone along. This is a junk journal, and this came about because a couple of weeks ago I decided to try and use flowers to dye some papers. I had a load of daffodils and they were just on the turn, as it were, and I thought, oh, I'd heard somewhere about using flowers to dye things and thought, I know, I'll have a little go. So I have done a separate video on that, but I'll show you the results of that. Some of the results of that were these. So these were white papers and bits and pieces, and I used the daffodils, basically boiled them in a pot and then poured over, strained off the flowers, the daffodils themselves, which it was only the heads of them that I put into a pot and boiled for an hour. And I used the colour to dye papers. I don't know if it's colour fast. You probably have to use some sort of fixative to make it colour fast, but obviously I'm not going to be washing papers. But anyway, once I've got these papers, well, what do I do with them? I spent a couple of hours preparing it all. So I got my gel plate out and I started having a little play. And I came up with some quite nice things. And then I thought, right, what do I do with those? And I thought, right, I haven't made a junk journal in a long time. Let's do that, I thought to myself. I know, that'll be easy. So I put a few bits and pieces together. Well, this thing has been interesting because it basically fought me all the way. But along the way, I did learn a lot and I did try new things. I haven't tried stitching into papers like this before with a sewing machine. And I've just grabbed a sewing machine, and it was Auntie Joan's sewing machine that we bought back when we had to sell our house, bless her. So it's very old, but I tell you what, it's done a really good job on this. So I didn't even change the threads that were in there, I just used what was in there. So I just wanted to show you what I've done. So basically I gel plated some of these. I grabbed a few bits and pieces that were in my stash of things that I'm slowly starting to get rid of because we're going to be moving house soon. So I'm trying to get rid of junk. But for this exercise, I thought, oh, yeah, what have I got? So I just grabbed little boxes of things like this I've got. And this was an earring finding and a squashed, I don't even know what this was. Anyway, I chucked a few bits of wire and added some beads on and made something for the front because it needed something. And then I thought, well, what do I call this? And then I thought, well, it's about balance, isn't it? This particular journal is about balance. I also had a go at using my crocodile to pop these thingy whatnots in. Can't remember what they're called now. Eyelets. Eyelets are not something I've used very often, but I wanted to have a go at using eyelets, and so this was a good practice. So I've put a couple of eyelets in there. Before you do eyelet setting, I would just recommend you go onto YouTube and have a look at some tutorials just to work out which way up to put things, because that was something that I found helpful before I did these. Right, let's have a look inside. So I did this page and I really liked it, and then I wrote on it and I didn't like it. So all I did was I took some torn scraps. This is where I practiced my eyelets, and I thought that was quite nice. So then I just added that in, and I'm going to add this bit in to cover up that bit of writing as well. Daffodil dyeing, that was what this was all about. So this is pretty much going to be the last thing that I add to this journal. Let's stick that in, cover that up, and that's that page done. As you can see, this is some of the music paper that I dyed with the daffodil dyes. And the idea of junk journals is you just sort of have a bit of fun really and chuck a load of stuff in. So Christmas cards and Hessian in here. Make a little pocket which is obviously stuck down. I just have a spare button and some cord. This was from a sewing project that I was doing at the time. But I really like the way these colours turned out on the back. Really love that. but some of these were a bit too flimsy, so I added things like this. This was just a scrap of parchment, and again got the sewing machine out, stitched that on. Did a little painting, so on another one of the gel print pulls that I did, I just sketched a little angel. I've written under here that she's resting, but then I've covered it up. But I quite like her. And just a little bead popped on the top. On the other side, just chuck a few other things on to hide that. Holidays, I'm desperate for a holiday. We did have a 3-night cruise booked next month, and that's now been cancelled, but there you go. We'll have to holiday at home. Little painting that I did yesterday. More gel prints, stitching. And this is the fun thing about this sort of project, is you just chuck really all your junk at it. This is just a little tag, and I had some scrap of pink organza, so I just stitched that on. Really enjoyed using the sewing machine for this. Another one here. This one, I put this. This is a lovely stamp. I don't even know where I got this. A scrap of material and some lace. But second class, and then that made me think, well, how often are we made to feel like we're second class, whether it's in our artwork or all sorts of things? It seems a very competitive world out there, doesn't it? Well, don't let it make you feel like you're competing. Do the best you can and just enjoy what you do. And remember, you're not second class to anyone. And here I put some washi tape on, but this was really cheap washi tape and it's not sticking down very well. But again, another one of these gel prints on the daffodil dyed paper. This was something I had in my stash for a long time, and this was done, I think it was Inkylicious. This was one of their stamps, and that was Footprints in the Sand, was a poem that meant a lot to me, because it was something I sent to my nan once, many years ago, when I discovered it when I was out in America, and she loved that. So I bought the stamp and made that quite a long time ago. Another gel print on the back. Actually, I think I used water soluble Tim Holtz, the crayons. Can't remember what they're called now, but the crayons, just to colour that. And again, just bits of lace and ribbon. Another bit more washi tape. The washi tape, as I say, really disappointing. It was, some of it was from Poundland. This stuff was from IKEA, but it's just as bad. So what I might have to do is go over that with some matte medium, gel medium, just to secure that. But I'm not too bothered. Mainly I just wanted to get this project done and feel like I'd done something, that I'd, created a purpose. Having dyed the papers, I'd then decorated them and put them together. So that's my little junk journal, just to show you what I'll do with this. I have no idea. It was just an exercise in playing, really, and having a go, trying new things, and seeing whether or not junk journaling was for me. And I can tell you it probably isn't. It takes far too long. I spent far too long on this project. But that was my choice. It's only because I had some time and I knew that things were going to get really busy in the next few weeks. So it was a choice. I knew I had the time. But because I won't have the time in the weeks to come, I shall put this to bed. And then all these other little papers I've got at some point. I don't know, maybe I'll make one another day. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. But if not, it was good practice. Worth seeing how things work, and the sort of thing that you can come up with, and also how your brain works when you start on a project, how it evolves. The other thing I found with this was that it was a really messy thing to do, because I had stacks of bits all over the table, because I'm trying to sort of declutter and trying to reduce mess. So another reason for not really wanting to get into this in a great way. I think I'll stick with my watercolours, acrylics and stamping for the time being, but good fun. So I just wanted to share that with you. Hope you enjoyed it, and If you tried anything similar and had some experiences, let me know. Love to hear what you got up to. Hi Dominique, love to see you, darling. And if not, then you know, have a look on Instagram and Pinterest and get some ideas. And if you do have the time and you've got all these little scraps, then you know it's a fun way of putting things together. That's it for now. Hope you're doing well. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye bye.